The Space Stone. It is the first Infinity Stone introduced in the MCU, and its primary ability is to manipulate space. This includes teleportation, which allows the user to instantly move themselves or others to any location across the universe. It can create wormholes and portals for travel between different points in space, making it an extremely powerful tool for conquest and transportation. Initially, the Space Stone is contained within a blue cube called the Tesseract, and over the course of history it was wielded by many individuals, including Johann Schmidt of Hydra, Marvel of the Kree Empire, and Loki of Asgard. But the earliest known people to possess the Space Stone were the Asgardians. For unknown reasons, Odin decided to hide the Tesseract away on Earth, and according to Marvel's official timelines, he did this in 1409 AD, trusting the Tesseract to a cult at Tonsberg, Norway. The cult remained until the 20th century, guarding the Tesseract with their lives. The Tesseract first appears in the MCU in Captain America: The First Avenger, where it is used by Red Skull to power advanced weaponry for Hydra during World War II. In the Avengers, it plays a central role, as Loki uses it to open a portal above New York City, allowing the Chitauri invasion force to enter Earth. And after various appearances across the MCU, Thanos acquires it in Infinity War by extracting it from the Tesseract. He uses it as part of his Infinity Gauntlet to effectively manipulate space, helping him in his quest to obtain all 6 Infinity Stones. And finally, in Endgame, the Space Stone is involved in the time heist where different Avengers travel back to various points in time to retrieve the stones before Thanos can use them, which led to Loki escaping with it, and that led to the events of Loki with the TVA. And one other thing, when the Tesseract fell into the ocean and S.H.I.E.L.D. found it, Howard Stark studied it for some time and eventually theorized a new element based on its atomic structure. However, he was unable to synthesize the new element and instead substituted it with palladium in his arc reactor prototypes. Howard left detailed notes on both the Tesseract and his new element in hopes that his son would one day succeed where he had failed. And Tony indeed succeeded. The Mind Stone. The second Infinity Stone in the MCU, and it grants the user powerful mental abilities, including telepathy and mind control, allowing them to manipulate others' thoughts and actions. It can also enhance the intelligence and consciousness of beings, as seen with the creation of Ultron and later Vision, who gains sentience partly due to the influence of the stone. The stone also provides energy projections, and it is used to create powerful barriers and force fields. It is initially housed within the scepter given to Loki by Thanos in the Avengers. It appears as a blue orb in the scepter, but it is later revealed to be a yellow gem when removed from its casing. After its extraction, it is placed in the forehead of the android Vision, where it remains a prominent feature. In the Avengers, Loki uses the scepter to control the minds of several characters, including Hawkeye and Dr. Eric Selvig, to aid in his invasion of Earth. The stone plays a critical role in Age of Ultron, where it is used to give life to Ultron, and he then uses it to create Vision, intending to use him as a perfect body for himself. However, Vision becomes an ally to the Avengers. And in Infinity War, the Mind Stone is the last of the Infinity Stones that Thanos acquires, by extracting it from Vision's forehead, which results in his destruction. The Reality Stone. The third stone in the MCU, and it has the power to bend the laws of physics and alter reality itself, making it one of the most unpredictable and versatile of the Infinity Stones. It can create illusions, change matter into dark matter, and transform the environment around it at will, which makes it an immensely powerful tool for manipulation and deception. The Reality Stone initially appears as a fluid-like substance called the ether, unlike the other Infinity Stones, which are solid. It is typically dark red in color and can infiltrate the body of a host, influencing or corrupting them. In Thor: The Dark World, the ether is sought by the dark elf Malekith, who plans to use it to return the universe to darkness by transforming the fabric of reality. The ether is later identified as the Reality Stone in the MCU. It is stored by the Collector, after the Asgardians decide it is unwise to keep 2 Infinity Stones close together. And in Infinity War, Thanos retrieves the Reality Stone from the Collector. He uses its power to deceive the Guardians of the Galaxy on Nowhere, and later to manipulate reality during the battle on Titan. Thanos continues to use the Reality Stone as part of his Infinity Gauntlet to achieve his goal of wiping out half of all life in the universe to restore balance. The Power Stone. The fourth Infinity Stone in the MCU, and it grants the user control over all forms of energy, It can be used to enhance physical strength and durability, emit massive energy blasts, and destroy entire planets when it unleashes full power. The Power Stone is initially housed within an orb, which is a protective container that conceals its true form, and the stone itself is purple in color. The Power Stone's known history begins with it being stored at Temple Vault on the planet Morak, locked away and submerged under oceans except during specific planetary alignments. In Guardians of the Galaxy, the orb containing the Power Stone is stolen by Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, which sets off a chain of events involving various factions like the Ravagers, Ronan the Accuser, and Thanos all going after it. Ronan eventually takes possession of the stone, embedding it into his hammer to try and destroy the planet Xandar. But he is thwarted by the Guardians of the Galaxy, who use the stone's power collectively to defeat him by the end of the movie. And in Infinity War, Thanos acquires the Power Stone off-screen by decimating the planet Xandar. He uses it throughout the film to overpower his enemies and destroy objects and beings with ease. The Power Stone is last seen in Avengers Endgame during the time heist, where it's briefly stolen from the past. The Time Stone. The fifth stone in the MCU, and it allows the user to manipulate time in various ways, including speeding up or slowing down time, reversing the flow of time, or creating time loops. It can also be used to view possible futures or alternative timelines, which is a critical ability demonstrated in the MCU. The Time Stone is encased within a mystical artifact known as the Eye of Agamotto, which is worn around the neck, and the stone itself is green in color. The Time Stone is first introduced in Doctor Strange, where it is under the protection of the Masters of the Mystic Arts at Kamar-Taj. Doctor Strange learns to use the Eye of Agamotto to manipulate time, notably using it to trap the villain Dormammu in a time loop until he agrees to leave Earth. In Avengers Infinity War, Doctor Strange uses the Time Stone to view millions of potential futures to find a way to defeat Thanos. He ultimately surrenders the stone to Thanos to save Tony Stark's life, as part of the one scenario where the Avengers ultimately prevail. And then Thanos uses the Time Stone to reverse time and complete his Infinity Gauntlet, undoing the destruction of the Mind Stone and allowing him to achieve his goal. And in Endgame, the Time Stone is one of the stones retrieved during the time heist. The Soul Stone. The last stone in the MCU, and it allows the user to manipulate the soul and essence of living beings. This includes the ability to control life and death, as well as access spiritual dimensions. It is suggested that the Soul Stone has a sort of sentience or awareness capable of judging the worthiness of those who seek it. The Soul Stone is orange in color, and unlike other Infinity Stones, it is initially hidden. It is not housed within an object or artifact, but resides on the remote planet Vormir, with Red Skull guarding it after the Tesseract had cast him out, and cursed him to guide others to a treasure he cannot possess. The history of the Soul Stone is shrouded in mystery, but it is guarded by the Red Skull on Vormir, like I mentioned before. And in Infinity War, Thanos and Gamora travel to Vormir to retrieve the Soul Stone. They learn from Red Skull that to obtain a stone, one must sacrifice someone they love. Thanos tragically sacrifices Gamora, demonstrating his willingness to pay any price for his goals, and acquires the stone. And in Endgame, the Soul Stone is again a focal point during the time heist, where Hawkeye and the Black Widow travel to Vormir, where Black Widow sacrifices herself so Hawkeye can bring the stone to the present. And that's the end of the video. If you have requests for more MCU content or any other topics, let me know in the comments down below. So thanks for watching and see you next time.